Hey guys, welcome back to our weekly series now, I guess, of reviewing the new Avatar episodes. I just finished watching episode 9 of book 3 called The Stakeout, and yeah, let's just get right into it, I guess. I'm really glad they're bringing back the Earth Queen story because I thought it would have been really weird if they would have just dropped that. And when I get to the very end of the episode, I'll explain why the whole Earth Queen twist at the end is the only thing I really found any interesting at all in this whole episode. So, I guess, moving on, I love everything about the Beifong family. I'm not sure how many more times I can say that, but I like when Sue is like, you can't control the Avatar's every move, and then Lin's response is, I can try. I was like, oh, Lin, you're gonna be the one to save somebody. I don't know who, but you're gonna save somebody, I bet. So then, moving on, I don't have a lot of notes about this episode, because good portions of it just seemed like filler, waiting to get to the actual point they're trying to make. But I did write down, I like how even Naga, her spirit animal, is giving her crap when she smacks her in the face with her tail, because she didn't bring her a treat. I thought that was pretty funny. But we get to Bolin then, and he's still a blank slate of a character that has absolutely nothing to do with anything, and has overly forced, annoying comedic bits that I feel like I am so over at this point. I don't find him funny at all anymore. I just find him obnoxious and filling screen time. I'm at the point where I think Bolin is just a filler character himself. But, hey, look, they referenced the spirits! Holy cow! And they did it for like 15 seconds in a joke bit, until they actually wanted to use them as like a Deus Ex kind of mechanism to get them to realize, oh, the place they're meeting is not in the real world, it's the spirit world. Thanks, spirits. I don't get it. I wish they would reference the spirits more. It just doesn't make sense to me. And then a whole bunch of nothing happens for a large part of the episode. The references to Pai Sho were pretty nice. Nice callback to the first season, especially when they're reading the rule book and Asami's reading that, different cultures have different rules. It's the same thing that Iroh talks about in the first season. It shows, and I also really like how she just roundly beats Bolin every single time they play. It really shows she is as smart as, I guess, the show has implied she's supposed to be, but they never really show it, which kind of bums me out. This is like one of the first instances of them showing, oh, Asami's not an idiot. She can actually, she's actually intelligent. I feel like we don't get enough of that, and I like her as a character, even though there's not a lot to her as a character, because she mostly is used as Mako's arm candy storyline that they tug every once in a while, and I wish that they would, out of all of the characters, a lot of whom are bad in this series, Asami's not one of them, and I wish they would give her a larger role, other than either being kidnapped, like she is at the end of this episode, or disadvantaged, or, threatened, like she was in Season 2 with Varric, or, make us feel bad for her like we do in Season 1. I wish she had, her own actual story. That'd be nice, because I remember after her dad got arrested and imprisoned after Season 1 was over, I thought, oh, they're really going to have, an Asami storyline where she's rebuilding the company and she's, trying to take control as a CEO and all this stuff. And they hint at it here and there in Season 2 with Varric, but they don't really go anywhere with it, and I just wish it would have been developed a little bit more. And then my next note right after this is when Korra's in the spirit world, and my note is, what the fuck is even happening? Zahir can apparently spirit teleport now. That's good to know. And it seems like the show is just giving Zahir abilities to try and progress the story that they're trying to tell, while at the same time not explaining them whatsoever. Because right after he spirit teleports Ai Wei and throws him in the Fog of Lost Souls, which is a cool reference again to Season 2, right after he does that, he teleports back, and then his immediate next thing is neither of us can use our bending, so what the fuck did you just do? You just spirit teleport? What? Why? He's just getting random abilities out of nowhere. I guess this is now the explanation of how he found out that Korra was in Zaofu, because we see that Ai Wei and Zahir were meeting, so I guess I can excuse that complaint I've been making. I'm not going to bring that up anymore because they've explained it, but I'm still going to bring up the tangential point that I brought up when I usually mention this. They don't explain, half of Zahir's abilities. They just, give him more things. I'm kind of curious as to what new things he's going to do that they then don't explain. So, that's, like I said, it's good to know. I'm glad he can spirit teleport. Apparently he's become Goku. But we finally get the confirmation that Zaheer's group is called the Red Lotus. I thought that was pretty cool. It's interesting they decided to connect Unalaq and the Red Lotus, and to try and, like, to me, that whole thing felt like they were trying to artificially attempt to say, oh no, we really do have a storyline that's stretching multiple seasons. But it still really comes off as, like, surface level or very artificial, and it feels like they developed that after the story. I guess the best way to say it is, I feel like they tried to connect Season 3 to Season 2 after Season 2 was already done, whereas in the first season, I really felt like all 3 seasons were planned as one big story, because they were. And, you know, like I brought up last week, the White Lotus connection that they just sprinkle out through all 3 seasons, that's what they just did here is not on that same level. It's not even close. It feels like it's an after-the-fact thing they're trying to pretend like, oh, we still can connect our story through seasons. I just don't believe you. I don't believe you, Korra. I'm sorry. I don't believe that you actually planned that whole thing out all along. It feels like they decided to go, oh, the Red Lotus, we want to have Korra to undo order. Wouldn't it be cool if Unalaq was also in our group, but then we never mention it or even hint at it at all in Season 2? It's never even remotely implied in Season 2. But he was in it, trust us, guys. I don't get it. So then my next note is basically, so the Red Lotus are basically the old gods from World of Warcraft, because their opinion is that true order is a lie, and actually chaos is order. So it makes sense in World of Warcraft because the old gods thrive in chaos, and their whole purpose of making chaos is to further themselves and their faction. I don't know why the Red Lotus would want to just throw the world into chaos by, like, assassinating world leaders and just making nonsense. I don't see what they as individuals would get out of it, because if they did that and it kind of just became like a nonsense, chaotic planet, I don't think they're powerful enough to, like, rule it. Because even though they're not saying that they want to rule it in the chaos, but there's a reason. Like, when you want to throw everything into chaos, there's a reason. You know, Game of Thrones, Littlefinger, he has the famous monologue where he talks about, you know, chaos is a ladder, and that's how he furthers himself in chaos. And the old gods in World of Warcraft, they further themselves in chaos because then they can control more things based on the nature of how they are. But why would the Red Lotus want to just throw stuff in chaos? You're giving me a what they want to do, but you're not giving me a why they want to do it. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. There's still, 4 episodes left, so who knows? This is kind of a point that I will put a pin in, like, asterisk next, and say maybe they'll address it at some point. But right now, their plan doesn't make sense to me, and of course, they don't actually tell Korra what they want to do with her. I can't even, if I had to guess, I don't even, what could they do with Korra to try and do this? Maybe find some way to draw Rava out of her, and then, like, sever their connection permanently somehow or something, and therefore make Rava have to exist on her own again? I don't know. Would that do it? I'm not sure. But so that whole conversation happens, and you know, the fight scene that happens in the physical world between Mako Bolin and the two Lava Guy and Water Girl, it's animated very well, but the whole fight, the whole time, I was just like, Mako, use lightning. Mako, use lightning. Mako, she's using water against you. Use lightning, Mako. Mako, use lightning. Why does he not use lightning? She has water connected right to her body. You shoot lightning at her and you win automatically. You probably kill her and then she's totally out of the picture. Why? Why are you not using lightning? And Lavabender guy, what the fuck? How is he using lava bending? How is lava bending a thing? It needs to be explained to me because it sounds bullshit. It sounds like they're trying to cheat and be like, look at this cool guy, he has lava bending, which technically should be fire and earth, but don't think about it because we just want the animation to look cool, which it does. The animation looks great. That doesn't mean what they're doing makes sense. I need explanations. This is a channel that covers lore. I'm a person that likes the story. I need more explanation. So, but then my last point that I actually wrote down was when Zahir was talking to Korra, and he was like, "You're a very smart young woman, Korra." My note was, no, Zahir. She isn't a very smart young woman. Korra's a fucking idiot who gets used by everybody. So, it feels like the show is trying to convince us that, oh, Korra is actually smart. Guys, no, she's actually smart, but everybody else around her is just better at doing manipulation. It's like, no, the reason that they are better at doing manipulation against her is because she's an idiot. Because she falls for it every time. Because even when the evidence is put right in front of her face, she decides to go do something else instead of dealing with the problem. So who knows? But then we get to the end of the episode. Like I said at the very beginning of this video, the one thing that kind of intrigued me was, instead of going, and when the battle started turning against Mako and Bolin, and Asami and Korra were escaping, and Zahir was like, oh, go catch them, I immediately assumed that, oh, they're going to catch them. They're going to catch them. But they only get Mako and Bolin, and it turns out the Earth Queen's forces are the ones who actually capture Asami and Korra, and they put her into that fucking crazy-ass S&M restriction getup, which is really gnarly looking. I really liked it. But that was the only time I was surprised, because I didn't expect the Earth Queen's forces to be, like, legitimately going after them. And I didn't bring this up, but I wanted to mention, when the two bounty hunters were going after Mako and Bolin, I knew right away. I knew the second that they saw them that wasn't going to be actually bounty hunters. It was going to be people who liked Nuktuk and they wanted an autograph. So I thought that's as far as they were going to go with the Earth Queen stuff, and then maybe leave it till later and try and do something else, like in other episodes. So I kind of actually did like that, half of Team Avatar is stuck with the Earth Queen, and half of Team Avatar is stuck with the Red Lotus. That's pretty cool. That was actually pretty nifty, and I'm kind of curious what's going to happen next. I have a feeling the Earth Queen's not going to make it through the end of this season. I feel like Zahir's just going to straight up kill her. Because he already said basically like, oh, the President and the Earth Queen are both fucking assholes. Why should we keep them around? Shouldn't we just get rid of them? And I think this was the only time that Korra actually made a good point, where she was like, look, I disagree with what they're doing, but you can't just go around assassinating world leaders. That was the only time where I was like, oh, Korra, you made the basis of the base kind of arguments, and it makes sense, so progress. But, so yeah, I don't expect the Earth Queen to make it alive through the rest of the season. So, who knows? I actually, despite the fact that I did kind of rag on most of this episode in this video, the end really did kind of, like, pique my interest, to where I went into it actually, I can say the last couple episodes I went into it expecting not very good storytelling, and I didn't get it. So, but when I went into this episode, I was kind of more neutral, because I was like, okay, everyone keeps telling me this is the episode where they explain Zahir's group, so maybe maybe the show will just redeem itself with this episode, and I'm gonna give it a fair chance. I'm not gonna go into it with any preconceived notions, and I actually did. I didn't go into the episode expecting good or bad. I was just kind of like, all right, let's see what you got. And I don't think they gave a lot. Zahir, the explanation about Zahir's group was good, but it wasn't enough. And I'm not asking them to tell me literally everything right away. They could have at least explained why they want chaos, other than, oh, chaos is the natural order of things. Because that's not a why, that's just like explaining your what a little bit more, if that makes sense. Why do they want chaos? What do they hope to accomplish in the chaos? Because I sincerely doubt they're just like, we want to fuck up the whole world, and then that's it. We don't have any plans after that. I really don't believe that's what they're going to do, or what the plan is. I wish they would have gave us at least that. They don't have to tell us what their plan was with Korra. I'm totally fine waiting until they tell us more in later episodes about that. But I wanted a little bit more background story-wise. But my whole point was, even though the episode kind of was not great, I felt like the ending really piqued. The ending really saved it for me. It really piqued my interest, where I was like, oh, Korra and Asami are trapped with the Earth Queen, and the other ones are trapped with the Red Lotus, and the Red Lotus are going to confront the Earth Queen, supposedly. I wonder what's going to happen. And then you have Lin and Sue, who she might drag along with, who knows, but Lin at the very least, who is after the Avatar. I have a strong feeling we're going to find out she just tracked them down and ends up following I'm convinced Lin's either going to save Mako and Bolin, or she's going to save Korra and Asami. And I think Mako and Bolin are more likely, because to save Asami and Korra, she would have to, like, literally attack the Earth Queen's forces, and I don't think she'd do that. But I'm still waiting for Toph. I'm waiting for Toph to come back whoop the Earth Queen's ass. That's what I want to happen. I want Toph. I want maybe like Lin to be like trying to save them, and it turns out like she's losing because you know the Earth Queen has like these airbenders and she has the Dai Li, and maybe Zahir's group is also attacking at the same time, and Lin can't do it. And then we see like Toph appear, and she just fucking owns everybody because she's Toph, and she would because even when she was 10 years old, she was amazing. I just want Toph to come back. Also, where's Zuko? You can't... Oh, God, this is one of the most frustrating things about this show. You teased Zuko, something that everyone was like, oh my fucking God, Zuko's in the show. And then he's gone. Like, you show him for like 10 minutes, and then he's just gone for the rest of the series. Or season. Where is he? Why... Did he just give up after the guy... Who did they free when Zuko was there? They freed, what, Fire Girl? Yeah, they freed Combustion Girl. Did he just give up after Combustion Girl was freed? Why wouldn't he at least try and, like, send forces or convince his granddaughter to send his daughter. Convince his daughter to send forces or go after them himself. Where did he go? You can't do this to us, Korra. You can't show us a fan favorite character from the first season for 10 minutes and then not reference him again. You can't hint that Toph isn't dead and then never show her. She better show up. I swear to God, if Toph doesn't come in the end of the season at some point, I'm gonna riot. I'm gonna go to wherever the fuck their studio is. Not the animation studio, but their studio at Nick. I'm gonna burn down the headquarters because, damn it, don't tease things that you don't deliver on. Otherwise, you just seem like a dick. You gotta, like, deliver stuff when you hint at it. Come on, storytelling 101 here, jeez. So, there you go. So my thoughts on this episode. I thought it was subpar. I kind of like that they did explain stuff with Zahir, but I wish they would have explained more. That being said, I liked the end. I thought it was intriguing. I'm kind of curious, actually. I'm curious for one of the first times in this season where they're going with the story. So, there you go. Episode 9, The Stakeout, my review. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next week for episode 10, whatever that's called. If I was professional enough, I would know already at this point, but I'm not, and I don't. So, I'll see you next week for episode 10, guys. Thanks for watching, as always, and farewell.